good Saturday afternoon. It's the 9th of April, and at last we've got a decent day, having had nearly a fortnight of really cold, miserable days. Temperatures got right down to about 5 degrees a couple of days there, and the pond suffered. Remember, I was up at 16 in that warm spell in March. Well, over the place of 3 days, I actually lost 8 degrees. It went down from 16 to 8, and the koi were not overly happy about that. So they didn't get any food for a couple of days when that happened. At the moment, I'm feeding them on the Koyoshi Premium from Coastal Koi, and I do have, that's an all-season food, but I do have about 15 kilos of Coppens Growth and Coppens OSW to feed them. So once it gets up to about 15 again, I'll start feeding that. Couple of things to tell you about. I've removed my backy shower. Didn't like it aesthetically, and I've not got rid of the media. The media has gone into the bottom of the moving bed of the Nexus, so I've not lost the filtration of the media. Obviously it's going to be used in a different way now. It's not going to be used as a trickle filter. It's going to be used as just a normal biological filter media. So the shower's gone, and what else was there to tell you? Oh yes, I sold my Big Blue because I wasn't using it, because I'm using RO water, and I sold my Big Blue to Gary from My Koi Journey, who's another Norfolk lad, and he came over one evening and had that, and from what he said to me, he's very happy with it. So enjoy that, Gary. And fish wise, well, I did say, didn't I, a couple of videos ago, that I'd got my 12 fish and I was going to stick with that, and that is still very much the case. The 12 main fish in this pond are my stick with fish, but I felt I just needed a couple of grow on projects for the summer. And if they turn out into really nice fish, then one or two of them might stay as well. And I don't think the pond would be overstocked at 14 fish by any means. So I've got 2 already, and the fish came from Kingsland Koi, and there is a yellow shusui, or shusui, however you pronounce it, which really intrigues me. That's about 22 centimeters, something like that, and it's got lovely white skin with the yellow flashes down the sides, and obviously the blue scales along the dorsal. So that's one to keep an eye out for in future videos. It's over in that corner at the minute, so I can't really get a video of it. And also over in that corner is a little Achiba I bought, and it was a sort of rusty brown coloured fish in the pond full of ginrin along the top, and I thought, I haven't got a proper ginrin fish, so I liked it for that reason, and I actually thought it was a chag. So Fred at Kingsland Koi caught it out for me, got it in the bag, and then we saw it was actually an Achiba. It got a lot of silver underneath and some silver on the tail, but I decided to keep it, despite it not being a chag, which is what I really wanted, because I just think it's very intriguing. It's brown along the whole length of its back at the moment, and I do believe, looking at the patterns of the silver underneath, that that's going to break up. So I'm just going to grow it on just to see what sort of a fish it turns into. I do like Achibas, and I did want a ginrin fish, so that's quite shy. That spends most of its time around the outfall over there from the nexus. I am feeding some 3mm pellets for it, which it does take, so that's one grow on. That's about 15 centimeters. I think I already said that. And the guys Rebecca and Fred at Kingsland Koi have got me a new sensor for the Screenmatic from Moaza. I went and picked that up yesterday, and in one of their ponds they've got some small Shinoda Hyatsuri and some Marasai Chagoi, which I like the look of. So I've bought a couple of them. I haven't collected them yet. May get chance to get up there today, if not tomorrow. Pick them up, and then I'll show you them in a bowl when I get them back here. So that will be 4 little grow-ons for this summer. Those 2 that I bought yesterday, they are about 15 centimeters as well, so a little bit of company for the little Achiba as well. He doesn't seem to like swimming around with the bigger boys and girls. Now my UV is still off, so there's a slight bit of colour to the water, but I have to say I quite like it. I don't. It's not nice looking at the bottom of the pond and seeing all the poops lying on there, so it kind of means you can't really see that stuff. And when the fish are in the top half of the water, it's very clear and you can see them absolutely fine. So I'm gonna keep it off for the time being. If the water gets much more murky, then I'll pop it on for a couple of 3 days to clear it and then turn it off again. But I'm not going to burn 55 watts 24/7 like I was last year. We've just got to look after your electric bills now. So I think that's all the news for now. So hopefully the next thing you'll see me going to Kingsland Koi to I've got to drop off the faulty sensor from the Screenmatic, because that's got to go back to Oaza, and hopefully pick up a couple of fish. Waffled on long enough. Catch you in the next clip. Welcome back, and as promised, it's later on the Saturday and I am at Kingsland Koi, and I have this sensor. This is the faulty sensor from the Screenmatic to take back, and let's go and have a look at these Hyatsuri and Chagoi. Welcome back. I didn't film in the shop. I don't like to. I just feel like awkward, so I didn't even get the phone out of my pocket. So selecting the Chag was easy enough. I just selected the biggest, and with the Hyatsuri, there was probably about 20, and there was 3 or 4 that I was interested in, but the one I've chosen I chose for a reason, and I'll explain when I've got them in the bowl in a couple of minutes. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes when they're in the bowl. Right, so in the bowl, as you can see, they're about 15 centimeters long. The Chagoi is by the breeder Marasai, and it's a beige coloured Chagoi, quite a sort of standard Chag really, nothing exceptional about it, but you know, I've not got a Chagoi in the pond. I like them, and we'll just see what this one grows into. Now, he was the biggest in the pond, so I selected him basically on that because they were all the same colour, all the same pattern. There isn't a pattern really, it's all all the same. He's got a couple of scales missing, but they'll come back. Milo keeps sticking his nose in. Stop it, you. And right, the Hyatt Surrey. Now I picked out again all the bigger ones, but this is the one that took my eye. I like the fully black pectoral fins. It's got a nice bit of black coming through on the head, and some nice black markings down the body, but looks like there's going to be some more here. A lot of the fish, a lot of the baby Hyatt Surrey that were in the pond were very, very black and didn't have a lot of red, so I went for this one. Again, it's not definitely going to be a keeper, but we'll see how it develops. He's not very active in the bowl. I guess once I put them in the pond, I'm hardly going to see them because they'll probably hide with the achiever that's already in there, that's the same sort of size. So, two new little fish. Hope you like them, and I'll get back to you in the next one. So the koi having their evening meal, and the 4 fish that I've added in the last couple of weeks have all been named. See what I mean about the fact that at the surface it's really clear, but lower down it's got a bit of colour, but you can still see them clearly when they're in the top half of the water. Anyway, the names. So the achiever, which is all brown and gin-rin, is called Autumn. The yellow shusui, or shisui, I don't know which is right, that is called Anakin, because the bigger shusui, or shusui, is called Vader because it has a blue and a red eye. So my son called the yellow shusui Anakin. So you've got the light and the dark side of Anakin. The two I added today, the Hyatt Surrey I've called Patch because it's got a little patch of black just behind its head, and I quite like the idea of that name for it, so that's Patch. And the Chagoi, I asked my friend Adam, who lives in Sheffield, to name it, and he came up with Biscuit. So the Chagoi is called Biscuit. So that's the 4 additions and their 4 names. And I will get round to doing that video on each of the fish. I'll need to run the UV for a few days before I do it to make sure the water's nice and crystal clear. But they're enjoying their food tonight. I've done them a mix, so it's a mix of wheat germ, all season, growth, 3 mil, and some sinking, growth and wheat germ. So they seem to be enjoying it. Anyway, catch you in the next clip. Well, good Sunday morning, and I thought I'd give you a little look at the filters. It's beautiful today. I'm in a t-shirt. Might get a glimpse of the new koi when we go around the corner. Now, as you can see, the Screenmatic new sensor is working. That's muck it's done overnight. There's a load of food and bits on there from this morning. I'll explain why quite a bit of food is ending up in it at the minute a bit later in this video. But what I have found is that it just couldn't cope with 8,000 litres per hour. So I did put the Kingsland Koi valve in there, ball valve, and I've just slowed the flow down. It's going to cause back pressure on the pump, and if that eventually causes the pump to fail, then I'll just buy a less powerful pump. But I've reduced it by about 50%, so there's about 4,000 litres per hour flowing over the Screen-matic, and I can't really see it from here, but there's a good suction still down that skimmer. Now with the Nexus, I said earlier in the video that I put all the backy media in these outer moving beds, and just to show you it's not made any difference to the performance of the moving beds. As you can see, they're churning over nicely, and I've actually added an extra 25 litres of media last weekend. I added this stuff, the Oasa Hell X13. 25 litres of that went in, and there's now 125 litres of moving bed media, which is absolutely loads. It's all run off this one air pump here. I can't remember, it's a Aquatics pump or something. Can't remember what the litres per hour of it is, but as you can see, it's easily able to cope with 125 litres of media, and the backy media being in the bottom is not causing a problem. Now where it could cause a problem is it could trap detritus and rubbish, but what I will do in the future is periodically I will put sludge buster liquids in here to hopefully make sure that nothing horrendous settles in there. I'm going to leave the Nexus open today, let it sort of breathe a bit really, because it's normally got a cover on, and every time I open it there's loads of dead filter flies in here, but which isn't a bad thing because the wife hates them. So let's have a look in this corner and see if we can see any of the little fish. Oh look, there's the Achiever just there, and the Hyatsuri, oh, and the Chag. So all three of them. So that's the three little grow-ons. Now I'll go back round and I'll show you that flow through the skimmer. See, it's boiling quite nicely in there and taking stuff through. Now what I did yesterday was I made a mix of food up in this 2 litre bucket, and in here is all sorts. There is Kingsland Koi Elite, Evolution Aqua Growth, Kingsland Koi Sinking Wheat Germ, Coppens Growth, and Coppens OSW. I think that's it for now. And what I do when I feed them is just give them one of these scoops, which does scoop up a lot of 3mm pellets, and the bigger fish do eat the 3mm pellets, but I turn the skimmer off when I feed them. But of course a lot of 3mm pellets don't get eaten and end up going down the skimmer when I turn it back on, which is why there was quite a few pellets just now in the Screen-matic. Anyway, that's everything for this week's video. Just want to hope that the weather keeps improving this week, and just say look after your ponds, and I'll catch you in the next one.